So what we're going to do today is we're going to convert our generic widget into a truly generic widget. And the idea is that this widget we're going to use as a general builder every time we're going to like sort of make a widget. And what we did with our test widget here was we created a button, we created a label, we also created a layout, we set the window title, and lastly we resized it. And every time we create a widget, we don't want to be manually handling layouts and having to deal with a lot of these kind of boilerplate processes. So, we're going to make our generic widget handle this for us automatically, so that when we build our test widget, it's going to inherit from the generic widget, and the generic widget is going to do all the heavy lifting. So, well, let's go through how we're going to do that. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these everything that happens after the set and layout command, and I'm going to put that into a separate function. Right. So if we build our widget now, it should have absolutely nothing in it. There we go. Just called test widget. Right, so what we want our generic widget to do, we definitely want the title setting. We need to be able to build a button and a label. So let's do that now. We're going to create a function called add button, and it's going to take text, and it's going to have an event, and that event is going to be type callable, but we don't have to give it an event. So let's also have the option to make it, yeah, it's going to be an optional callable button, and the default value of that is none. Now, in order to make that work, I need to add these two classes. From typing, import callable and optional. Right, and we're going to create another function like this, and this is for adding a label. There's the text. And we're going to create one more function as well, which is going to be a general function for adding widgets to our layout. This is going to do the layout handling. Add a widget, QWidget. And this is where we do the layout bit. Soft.layout, add the widget. We're going to return that widget. So it's when we return the widget, that means that if we create a widget, then we can get a reference to it back, which comes in handy later. Right, so now we're going to use our add widget command to add the button. So here's our button. It's a Q push button. It's got text. Now, if we send it this clicked command, so if clicked button .click.connect to the clicked command. Right, we're going to add it to the widget. We're going to self dot add widget, and the widget is the button. Right, we're going to return the button. So that returns a Q push button. Great. Now we're going to do the same with our label. Label equals QLabel text self.add widget, and return the label. And we're going to say that we're returning the label. And yeah, as I say, why we're actually returning the widgets, that will come in clearly. That will become apparent quite soon. So when we're creating our test widget, the generic widget just becomes this a utility class essentially. So you'll because what we're going to do is, here's all our code where we build a widget. So we're going to create a widget here called test widget, and it's going to inherit from our generic widget like that. So it's going to have its, this is the init function. We're going to init the superclass, which is the generic widget. We've got to give it a title, and our title is test widget. And then let's just merge in this widget creation. So we're going to go button equals self.add button click me. Label equals self.add label. We don't need to add it to the layout anymore. And we can go button.clicked.connect. Because remember when I mentioned that there's a reason why we pass back the item when we add the button, we actually get a reference to the button here, so we can add the click command, and we've got the resize there. So what I'm going to do is instantiate our test widget. So let's run that and see what happens. There's our test widget, and it works. So so the advantage here is that our code to build our widget is now very compact. There's only like 5 lines of creation. Don't need to do with the layout, and creating the widgets is really simple. So there's a couple of the things that we can do to this, and I'll show you now, because one of the things we did here was include the actual command directly in the button creation method. So let's do that. So to do that would be taking this command here and putting it into the into this line here. Now the thing is, we can't reference the label from here. So I'm going to send out instead. I'm going to give it an event. So what we're going to do here is go clicked is assigned self.button clicked. There's our button clicked event. And let's create our function here, button clicked. And what I would do here, I'm gonna go label.setText clicked. That's essentially here. That's this. We're putting that here. Now I can get rid of this line here. In order to do that, I'm going to have to make this a child of the parent class, like that. So in our init, we've now only got our button creation happened in one single line, and it's even connecting to an object which hasn't been created yet. So let's run that to see that it works. And it works. And our IntelliSense here is telling us that we don't actually need that variable. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, so So now what we've got here is a pattern where we've reduced the creation of our widget to a very small number of lines. We've got the button creation happens in one line where we give it the text, and we give it the actual we give it the event. And as I say, that's a single line. The label gets created in a single line as well. We're not adding the layout, and it just makes for really compact code. So that's why we create a generic widget. We're going to continue working on that generic widget in this series, but hopefully you'll start to understand what building modular widgets is all about. So yeah, with that, well, I'll look forward to seeing you next time, and we'll get a little bit further with our generic widget. So thank you very much.